Welcome back to another Titans Bro video. This day we are going to be recapping what turned out to be one of the most wild, bizarre, weird NFL games that I have ever seen. And I'm extremely mad and extremely frustrated, but if you're one of the people that you want us to lose out for good draft picks, but you want us to put some impressive film out there, this is the game for you. Please take it away.
I'll say this. I don't think as impressed with the Titans as I think you all. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was ugly about this game. But we did score 28 points. I guess 26 points if you take away the two-point pick we did. You
Forgot about that play.
We had 26 points. I guess that's good, but I would say we got it going a little bit at the end of the game. But our offense was complete garbage for the whole third quarter, which got them back in the game. And
the third quarter is what killed us. Third quarter killed us because obviously the first half we scored 17 points again. If you can score 17 points in the first half, great. I think it was like 7. Actually, I guess there's probably the breakdown if I hit stats overview. Let's take a gander. If they say I'm not seeing it, but it either was 7 in the first quarter and 10 in the second, or vice versa. Regardless, good. That's good in the first half. And then the last half, we ended up putting up. So 17, we ended up being 28. So 25. So we put up 8 more points in the fourth, which was, I guess, fun. And then 3 in overtime. But it's just, third quarter, we didn't do anything.
Yeah, we didn't do anything. And I was a little annoyed with Tim Kelly in that because they had the ball for like basically almost the last 10 minutes of the second quarter. Then they had the ball basically for the first 10 minutes of the third quarter. That they did have. I know that for a fact because they started off with a 10-minute drive. And then you had the halftime in between. That whole time, Kelly, you couldn't do anything other than run up the middle, throw a short, not even screen passes, a 1-yard pass. You couldn't have dialed up anything better than that because that was a huge game. That drive, we needed to get the momentum back because clearly they had that. And that's what that idiot came up with. It's 2 runs and a 1-yard pass.
Yeah, he for a couple drives there did what we hated about Todd Downing. Run up the middle, short pass, or just pass in general, and it's incomplete and punt the ball. Yeah. That was bad. Like we said, though, the weirdest game in the world, there were 2 blocked punts. 2 blocked punts. There was a missed point because your backup quarterback is holding for an extra point. There was an extra 2 that was returned for 2 points for the other side. And I'm just like, what is this game?
And then don't forget Will Levis throwing a pick or fumbling. Then they picked it up, and then they fumbled, and we got it back. It's just weird stuff happened. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I always have a saying that bad teams find ways to lose. And that's us. We played, I guess, decent, put up 26 points, but we found ways to lose, and that's what bad teams do, and that's why we're sitting at 4-8 because we're a bad team. One thing I will say is that our defense, red zone defense, was really impressive. They didn't score hardly any points, in the red zone, except for overtime.
Yeah, well, that's an issue where I don't know what was going on. There's a touchdown to Michael Pittman Jr., one-on-one coverage with Trey Avery.
Yeah,
who thought that was fine?
Yeah, that was bad coaching, and they got us good. I mean, that was the right place to go with the ball for sure.
I mean, yeah. But here's something we got to start discussing once we get into this offseason. Like, we like to talk about tackle and wide receiver. That's our main issues. We got to fix those 2. But let's be honest, you might as well just throw cornerback in there. Fulton's bad, plus he's gone. Bunting has been getting worse. He's also gone. So not only do we not have good cornerbacks, but we're honestly not going to have very many cornerbacks on our roster, period.
You're right about that. Our secondary is really bad.
And honestly, sadly, safety as well. With Byard being gone, Elijah Moore,
I like Wallace. Hooker had some good plays today.
Hooker's still fine. I still like Hooker. And then there's this Wallace guy who's just a no-name 1-year dude. He's going to be gone next year. So, like, we need safeties. We need corners.
We do.
McCreary's the only one that can stay, but McCreary's slot.
This team's got so many holes. It really does. But I would say I did like Al Shire. I feel like and Gibbons. Both of them actually I thought played pretty good today.
Yeah, I saw Gibbons making some good ones.
And I thought we did good against the run game because they ran it down our throat last year. What was shocking to me was I feel like they could have beat us worse if Minshew played a little better. because there was a lot of wide open passes that Minshew was missing, and so they could have torched this even more.
His stats are deceptively good because he was
Minshew?
26 to 42, 312 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks.
Well, the reason why is because, again, there was way too many special third downs, but just way too many. Just snap it. We're so far back that it was like a 9-yard call, basically. Someone just wide by themselves, catch it, and it's such an easy pitch and catch. I'm like, what is this? Like, almost every pass he threw was a wide open receiver. It was.
Yeah, our secondary is so bad, it's not even funny.
It is
it's
so
not
bad.
Funny. And it's been that way for years. Like, do you remember back in the day we had Byard at safety? The other safety, I guess in 2019 we did have Hooker. So Hooker is our other safety. Then we had like Malcolm Butler, Logan Ryan, like guys that can actually make plays on the ball. Like if you take Roger McCreary out, nobody knocks balls down.
He had a nice drop pick.
He did have a nice drop pick, and they got a touchdown on that drive, or that one of the ones I stalled.
I think that was a field goal before the half.
Okay, gotcha. I think you're right. Actually, I think you're right. But
I can't remember if I already said this on air. I know I said this off air, but if we were still in this thing, like trying to make the playoffs, this would have been a horrible game for us. We lost, and then we lost maybe our best players. Henry, now I don't know how bad it is. Simmons, don't know how bad it is. And then now Stonehouse. It sounds like Stonehouse has got a bad injury. Is what that sounded like. So we're gonna be out of a final. We lost our best offensive player. We lost our best defensive player. This would have been a huge thing, and I would be really, upset about that if the season mattered. But I'm done with the season.
The season doesn't really matter. Derrick Henry was a concussion, is what it was for Henry. So he's either going to miss next week or not miss at all because he's going to have the extra day because we don't play till Monday night.
That's going to be
a horrible game. But it's like, because we're going to be behind so fast anyway, we're not going to be running the ball. So even if Derrick Henry's healthy, he's going to be sitting on the sidelines watching.
That's just going to be a horrible game. I worked that day, so Gabriel is probably going to be the only one doing the recap. And I think I may not be upset with that, to be honest. That game's going to be ugly. But I'll say this. It's a shame that Henry got hurt when he did, because our offense just started getting some momentum again, and we was just beginning to start running it well, and he got concussed. So that was a bad timing for him to get concussed like that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. What they say, there are no moral victories in defeat, but running the ball, we did very well. Because not only was it Derrick Henry's 21 for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns again, 2 weeks in a row with 2 touchdowns. He had a 4.9 average, which means he would have gone for about 150 if he wouldn't have gotten hurt. But anyways, then Tajay Spears in relief duty, 16 for 75, 4.7.
I like Spears. I really do. I think, and I hated when we drafted him.
Yeah, me too, because we had bigger needs.
I think he's pretty good.
You can't deny he's not a good player. You could still argue whether that's what we needed, because when I'm still looking at our wide receivers sucking, I'm still looking at our O-line sucking, I'm still looking at our cornerback sucking, and at that point we still had Derrick Henry, so it just didn't look like the right position. I mean, so
I'll say this: Hopkins had a good stat line, but he could have been better today.
Yeah, Hop was a little droppy today.
Yes, he was.
They weren't hit right, just like that or anything like that, but there was like a little low, a little this way, and things like that, where he still got both hands on him. I'd really just like to see him snatch.
Chig had another drop, but that doesn't surprise you.
Chig had a drop. It's a pity because he started off that first offensive play, and
I'll
62 yards on the day.
I'll say this about Will Levis: he's got complete more passes. This is in today's NFL. You can't. 55% completions is horrible in today's NFL. You can't be going less than 50. That's just
he was 16 of 33, so that's just under 50%. That's 224 yards, which is fine. A touchdown,
that's good. That's good
fine.
With 16 completions and 2.
Yeah.
But the problem is he's not consistent enough. He skips way too many balls.
Why does he do that so much?
And when I say skip it, I'm not even talking about receiver could maybe go down and get it. I mean, this is hitting like 5 yards short.
Like borderline, they could almost be calling some of these intentional grounding when I don't think he's even throwing it away. I think he's just trying to throw it low and quick, and he's just skipping them.
Yeah, yes. He had a couple of third downs that was like that could have kept the drive going. Had the guy open, he's just skipping them. I don't know why.
Yeah. I do like that he's. How long has it been since there's been an interception or a drop interception? like none today.
That up a little bit.
He's cleaned it up, but there's just too many incompletions. That's my issue.
Yes, that stalls drives. What do you think about Duncan today?
I said I wanted him to play good enough to where we didn't need to look for a left tackle next year, or he needs to play bad enough to be like, oh, we still need a left tackle. I think he's kind of playing more bad enough, where it's like good to where he's not putting Will Levis's health at risk. But it's like, yeah, we definitely still gotta address that next season, in my opinion.
Yeah, today he allowed a couple of hits and a sack, I know for sure. And he did 2 false starts. Or one a holding and one a false start. I think that's what it was. But I did hear. The
holding was a little weak, though. I don't know if they should have called that holding. But anyways.
I'll say this. Our offensive line, I knew was bad at this. But I did hear that, was it the worst or second worst at false start penalties? So
hopefully the worst. For the sake of the rest of the league, I hope the worst. Because who the heck would do more? We love false starts. It's like our thing.
We can't stop doing penalties. Our defense wasn't as bad today, but we love doing penalties on defense.
There's a third down or 2 they picked up because of penalties again, which that's getting frustrating.
Yeah. Another thing to keep an eye on. Now, he might be fine because he kept on playing, but you never know when the adrenaline goes down and all that. But, don't forget, Tajah Spears went up Gimpy one play today.
Yeah, and he don't look to me. Go ahead.
He could be our starter next week.
I was just gonna say he don't look like he has the endurance to be the star, because you see there's several plays he was seriously sucking some wind. Like he ain't used to being just ran over and over and over and over like Hop. Nope, not Hop. Henry.
That's something to keep an eye on, because I don't know who's behind him. Do we still have Julius Chestnut?
I don't think so.
Hey, either way, like you said, the Dolphins gonna be blowing us out at halftime. So we won't.
Yeah, so who are running back in? It doesn't matter anyway.
11.
Yeah, Conco was fine. He's 3 for 62 yards, so good job. It might be a season high with yards, honestly. Hopkins was fine, which you want more out of your number one than just fine, but he was fine with 5 for 75 at a TD. Chris Moore was quiet. He's been our explosive guy, but Chris Moore was pretty quiet today. Our running game is what our bread and butter was, which is so boring just to go back to that. Like what was the best thing about Titans? Oh, the running game.
And see, that's what my big red flag, maybe for Will Levis, is. I want a quarterback that says he's the guy. We should go through him. But we've had so many quarterbacks that's not the case. And I was hoping, like, Will Levis, can you be that? And no, with Will Levis, sadly, you're just back to don't turn the ball over. Let's try to win the game by running. We're still doing that. And I'm like, I'm tired of doing that.
I do agree.
Anyway,
I do agree. But here's the thing that always confuses me when it comes to us next year trying to figure out if we're going to try to bring back Henry or not. Or I'm sitting there thinking, I want us to be able to spread the ball around and throw it. Like, that's just what you do in today's NFL. But then I stop and think, we would have won today if Henry wouldn't have gotten out. So we would have had Henry in where we're just running the ball. We would have won today. And I'm like, wait, well, next year we actually are legit needing to win games because hopefully we're going to make some sort of a push next year. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, here's the thing. I want next year, I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, go to do a 21st century offense. I want to spread them out and do that more. But, the question is, Will Levis, is he good enough to be that guy, And if he's not, let's get another guy in here. But
yeah, there's 2 games now he's had less than 50% completion, so that don't help.
Do you feel like Kelly has changed up, which I don't like, and maybe some people do? When we started the season, I liked Kelly because we did more spread them out. We did a little less just heavy 3 tight ends. And as the season goes on, we're looking more and more. Now, Grant, we ran the ball well today. I get it. But we're looking more and more like all the other offensive coordinators we've had.
Sadly, I think the reason we spread the ball, or we used to have them all spread out, now we're all tight. I hate to say it, is because our O-line's so bad that we have to do a lot of max protection. Like, we have to sacrifice wide receivers to bring in tight ends for chip help, or we have to have a couple running backs in the backfield to chip help and all that kind of crap. So I think that's kind of what the issue is, because, yes, I do agree. We used to do way more empty sets and things like that, but sadly, people like Dillard couldn't hold up. Now, I don't think our O-line was the reason we lost today. The reason we lost today is because we allowed 1 block punt, we allowed 2 block punt, we allowed a missed field goal because of our backup 35-year-old quarterback as our holder, and because we decided to put Trey McBride 1v1 versus Michael Pittman Jr.
There's no taking away that our offense knows how to die. just like last game, we scored 17 points, and then we scored nothing the rest of the game. Now, we ended up scoring some points here, but that's in today's NFL, you can't just completely die like that and just go a whole quarter is doing 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. You know what I mean?
We died in the middle of that game.
Yes.
At the very end of the second quarter and all of the third quarter, we were just non-existent. Not just that, but we didn't move. We didn't even get like 2 first downs upon it. We got basically like if our job was to try to get the ball out of our hands, like we're playing hot potato, we're trying to get the ball out of our hands as quick as possible. We'd have won because just run, put it away. Oh, that was close. We almost had the ball for like 7-8 plays or something. That would be bad. We can't be doing that.
Was pathetic.
Defense can't be allowed to rest. So,
and the defense, I'll say this, was horrible between the 20s. And then I will give credit where credit is due. We wasn't clutch. Like, we were never clutch defense. Remember we said that? And once again, today, they got the ball, and they had to have a touchdown. Guess what we let them do? A touchdown. So
pretty easily, too.
We could say not a clutch defense at all. But besides that last drive, we was really good in the red zone. We even forced a fumble in the red zone. We were really good, which I hate to say because that's going to just make Shane Bowen do exactly what he keeps doing. Is we've been basically invite them to get in the red zone, and then we stop them. And today's going to make them just do that even more. And
another reason I hate that is, to score points, you need to have your offense on the field. And while you're having so much fun bending between the 20s, that means your offense is on the sidelines while you're allowing all that. So.
And offense is such a rhythm thing. And when those sit on the sidelines, they're not getting a rhythm. You know what I mean?
Nope.
And I think that's why a lot of times when our opponents are getting those long drives, what are they going to do after that drive? Our offense is going to come out and 3 and out. Almost every single time. Like, okay, our offense needs to get something going here. 3 and out. It happens almost every time because there's no rhythm anymore.
Not to mention the fact that you're trying to bend, don't break every single drive. It means your defense is out there a lot. Even if your offense is scoring, it means your defense is still out there a lot, and your defense is going to get more and more tired as the day goes on.
Yep.
And there's a time, especially I feel like you'll see like Danico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons, they got their like wrists on their hips and they're like sucking some serious air. And I'm just like, maybe you should just try to do like a 3 and out and get the ball back or give the ball back to the offense.
Titans lost. We're 4-8. We're gonna lose next game. It's gonna be ugly. Is that I don't think it matters. Is that Nashville or Miami? Do you know?
It's Miami. Yeah, because we had to go to Florida 3 times this year.
Okay, so they're gonna kill us. Maybe they could drop 70 on us. So we're going 4-9 right there. So hopefully now I can start asking the questions of what are we gonna pick. That's what we're getting to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go through the stat thing, Texans end up winning. They almost let the Broncos come back and win that thing, but they end up winning. So I can see the Texans beating us twice, but I hate to say it because it's not going to help us. I think we're going to split the Texans. I don't know why I feel that way.
Yeah, but say like in my mind, I was ready to reiterate again and say, I'm picking us to lose for the rest of the year. But CJ Stroud's still good, but he got a little bit quieter because there for a while, he was putting up 450 yards and 5 touchdowns.
But he's still playing better than our guy.
He's still playing better than our guy, but like our guys put up more points today than his guy, right? They scored like 20 points. We scored 28. Now, of course, we didn't have overtime to help out.
They scored 22.
Okay.
Still we did better.
So yeah, in my mind, I'm probably still gonna say we lose out, but you never know. We might beat the Texans at home in our Oilers jerseys.
All losing is going to be our one win. It's going to be either Texans or the Seahawks. We play Seahawks at home, and Seahawks are crashing to us. They start off pretty good. Now I wouldn't even call them really a good team. They're not a bad team.
They put up some points.
The Cowboys, which is weird because the offense has been kind of dead lately. That's kind of been the issue.
And it's because DK Metcalf has been dead. But DK Metcalf went off that game.
But I don't know you, and this is going to sound bad, and I shouldn't say this on a Titan channel, but I'm ready for the season to be over. I'm ready to start. We have this cap space and stuff. I'm ready to start talking about that. We got 6 games left, and I feel like it's going to be it. I think the Jags and the Dolphins are going to kill us. Then probably the Texans game on the road, they're going to kill us. And then the Seahawks game and the Texans at all places might be a close game, but a lot of ugly losses coming our way, I think.
Could very well be. Here's the issue: is it's just too stressful, and it's to the point where like if we lose, that's annoying, it's sad, depressing. You hate to see it, but then we're 4-8. If we win, then we're like, yay, we're 5-8.
Yeah.
And then we lose a couple more times. We're 5-11. Then we win. Ooh, we're 6-11. Like,
I would say this: we are both wrong by the Titans. We'll talk about this probably as the season ended. You said we're going to have 11 wins. That's not happening. I said 8-9, and I had to feel like, oh, a lot of Titan fans are not going to be happy with that. 8-9 probably. Well, 8-9. Well, I was about to say sounds pretty good right now. To be honest, I don't know if I even want 8-9. I would
No,
take
8
probably
9's.
yeah. But I would say I don't think we're getting 8 wins. Is that still possible? Yeah, it's still possible because we have 6 games left. But I don't think we're going to.
Yeah, I think 6 to 9 wins is like the worst place to be.
I agree.
Because when you only have 5 or less, you can be picking top 10.
Yep.
If you're more than that, that means
that
you
is a good
move
way
the playoffs.
6 and 9 wins is a useless season. I mean, horrible season.
Sadly, we still very well could end up being right in there.
Because
yeah, we could split with the Texans, get a dub there, and like you said, the Seahawks, and then suddenly we're sitting at 6 and 11. I'm like, the heck is 6 and 11?
Last year was 7-10, right? With and we ended up at pick 11. So with 6 wins, hopefully at least be top 10. Okay, this is my opinion on Will Levis. You let me know if you agree or not. Okay, with Will Levis, if we end up tanking, or not really tanking, but never win again, we have 4 wins, and we are picking 5, 6, something like that. I should get a quarterback because there's going to be a good quarterback at that place. There's just going to be. And I think who I could openly on day one say, I think you're better than Will Levis. If we don't, if we start picking at 8, 9, 10, 11, then I'm saying, well, let's stick with Will Levis and make him our guy. But as this season's going on, I'm just seeing a little bit more and more of a quarterback that we've had so much of, Jake Lockles and the Vince Youngs. Like, oh, they got strong arms, but they're missing an accuracy a little bit. And then in the season, they're like 50 completion, 55% completions. You're like, okay, that's just not good enough. You can have a strong arm all you want, but 55% ain't getting it done. And Will Levis is just fitting that mold.
The problem is, and now not that I have like sources or inside information or anything, but I think there's literally a 0% chance that we don't go with Will Levis next year. Like, I think he could be just like 1 pick and 1 touchdown right at 50% completions and us lose out for the rest of the season. And have like the 3rd overall pick. We're not going to be picking that low, but, or that high, but I don't think there's any chance that we don't go with him. Whether you think that's the right idea or not is a different conversation altogether, but I think it's going to be the Will Levis show next year. The problem is I feel like every single time I rate him, I'm rating him between D+ to B-.
Yeah.
And D+ to B-.
Today he's exceeding me. Because every game, I'm like, that was a good play. That was a good play. But then there's a whole lot of that was not good. That was not good.
If you look at his 224 yards and a touchdown, nice. But then you also look at 17 incompletions. Think about it. 17 incompletions.
A lot of that is just skipping to a wide open receiver. Oh, at least who has a step on a guy. You know what I mean? You're just skipping him. Yeah. And what frustrates me with that is, we can draft a good receiver. Let's say he's not going to be though. But I'm just saying, we can get Marvin Harrison Jr. He can be wide open, but if Will Levis skipping it to him, there's nothing he can do about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because today there was some open receivers on 3rd downs that he skipped the ball to. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter how bad a receiving core is. If they got a step on the guy and he's skipping it to him.
Yeah, I don't know why he's doing that. I really don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. And, of course, obviously, the elephant in the room that we haven't even talked about is Henry got a concussion, might not play. Jeffrey Simmons is out. Stonehouse, he looks like he's out for season, kind of out. So we have to go get in a punter because they apparently quit showing the replay on TV. So they're like, we can't show that anymore.
Yeah, I guess I missed because it didn't look bad, but I didn't look closely. But but you're right. They did say they would take it off the TV, but it must have not been good.
Yeah, so we got real hurt, and like you said, Spears got hurt as well. So it's possible, like Jonathan Ward. I think we have him in our 53. I don't think it's 53, but practice squad.
And we come out there with Jonathan Woods and stuff like that. I'm still thinking, okay, maybe we can lose the rest of the games.
Yeah. But at the same time, when you're losing, when you know your season's shot, you want to be able to give young people a shot to see if they're the answer. But so Jonathan Ward's not going to be the answer.
That's true.
Like at this point, I hope obviously I want Henry to be good. It's just because a lot of times I think it takes like 5 to 7 days to clear concussion protocol. And since it's a Monday night game, he has an extra day. So it's very possible he don't miss any time. So this conversation is pointless. But if he does miss a game, I really want to see Tajay Spears as a chance to just be the starter.
Because that could be him next year. So let's
sadly,
see what he has.
Yes. Here's one more problem because I know we're probably getting ready to call this one a video here in a second. But I feel like whenever we need a play made on offense, it's the king. And whenever we need to play on defense, it's Danico Autry. I'm thinking
And
those
both
guys are
of them are.
probably gone next year. So I'm like,
You know what the problem
who's going to
is?
make the play then?
That's the problem. We don't have any good young players that's going to be our future. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I wouldn't call Simmons really a young player anymore. He's
Who?
not old Simmons.
I thought
Jeffrey.
you called him Kyle Simmons. Yeah. Speaking of which, Kyle Phillip was a healthy scratch today, which is interesting.
Odd, because I actually thought he's done decent.
Yeah, I mean he's been quiet the last like 2-ish weeks, but
you know
yeah.
who's not a healthy scratch, but he might as well be is Traylon Burks. I saw him.
Yeah, I think he only played like 9 snaps, which I'm like, what's the point of that? Like, if you're only gonna play him 9 snaps, go ahead and make him inactive one more time, and let Kyle Phillips do a little something.
I'm he's an afterthought almost at this point to me, which is sad that in your second year you've done so bad that I'm just like, I'm not saying cut him, by the way, but I'm saying act like we don't have a true number 1 receiver.
Well, apparently there was trade value or trade interest in him at the trade deadline. If someone wants to give like a 4th,
you do it.
I say see you later, pal, because he's literally doesn't play, and if he does play, he's not even out there that much. But what was I gonna say? I feel like I was saying something.
We
and
don't
you
have
interrupted
young talent. Everybody we have that's make plays for us is older people.
Oh yeah. So
and
I mean like we have Simmons. He might miss some time. Who we got to watch now? Kyle Pecco.
Yeah.
Kyle Pecco's not anything for us. T.R. Tart's probably not coming back. There's some like animosity between T.R. Tart and the Titans in the offseason. So T.R. Tart's not going to be back. So Danico Autry's probably not going to be back. So it's like, I don't know. It's just frustrating.
Because right now is the point you put young stars or people you hope to be young stars, you put them in to see what they have, but we don't really have anybody, and that's bad on our GMs. But we don't have anybody that's young.
All I'm saying is, well, now we just know we have these holes.
yeah,
that's exactly. Just that. But the problem is then again, Derrick Henry leaves, and Danico Autry leaves. I'm like, okay, well, there's 2 more holes, and then you got to come to the situation where you're like, do you trust Malik Willis to even be our backup? Because right now we have the best backup quarterback in the league with Ryan Tannehill, but he's going to be gone next year. So then you stop thinking, do we actually need a backup quarterback as well? But then you stop and think, if we do let Derrick Henry walk, Tajay Spears is not going to be a bell cow. So now we need another semi-starting running back that we got to bring in from either free agency or the draft. I'm just like, we have like 3 holes on the entire 53-man roster filled. And that's punter, that's Jeffrey Simmons, and I'm obviously being facetious because you have people like Brunskill, who's fine, still under center. We just got Skoronski. We got technically still have D-Hop under contract. Roger McCreary, I'm okay with him. He's the only person in the secondary. Him and Hooker are the only 2 I'm okay with. So like we have a couple pieces, but when you think there's 22 starters, we have like 6.
I know we would have to sign him back, but I wouldn't mind Alshire. He's won me over. He has some games where I didn't like, but for the most part, I think he's above average linebacker in my opinion.
Problem with Alshire is he misses too many tackles, but I do like his energy he plays with. Like every time he makes just a random tackle for 3 yards, he's all screaming, he's all hyped and everything. But sometimes we need that because sometimes our defense just looks lackadaisical, dead inside.
But yeah, I
did get a good sack.
I liked him enough. The thing is, I lost my train of thought. You know what's weird, and it doesn't really matter because at least for Fulton, but this is the healthiest Hooker and Fulton's ever been.
Yeah, Hooker missed week 2, was it?
Yeah, and Hooker missed 1.
I think it was the same one because I think they both got hurt against the Saints. I'm like, well, there they go again.
Yeah, and now they've both been healthy. And Hooker's been good. But Fulton, this is the worst he's ever been. Now, I know you said you was never a huge fan. I liked him good enough, but this year, he's been just garbage. I don't know why. This is a contract year. This is when you're supposed to be better than you normally are.
Yeah, because not only is he not giving himself a future on this team, but in free agency, someone was like, we'll get him for $4 million. I'm like, if he would have played good, someone would have given you $10, $12, $14 million contract.
He definitely played this stuff out of money, for sure.
A lot of money, life-changing money.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that needs to be said besides?
We got holes.
We got some holes to fill. Lots and lots of holes to fill, and you think it's bad now.
I'm not even sold on Mr. Mayonnaise, man. I think you all, in the sense that you are okay with giving him another year.
I mean, he's gonna start next year, week 1, whether we want him to or not.
Gets better, and who knows? Maybe in off season he'll get better. But unless he gets significantly better, I just think this next year will just be another bad year for us. And I guess I got tasted the us being decent for a couple of years and it felt good, but I don't want us going back to irrelevancy and just being a bad team anymore. I don't want us to accept that.
I mean, I agree. Technically, this would be 2 years in a row now where we're just a bad football team.
And sadly, again, I think if Will Levis plays like this, he might be better, but if he plays like this next year, it'll be 3 years in a row.
Hopefully he's better next year, and the fact that he was our third quarterback. And literally, a lot of times in practice, I don't understand what they're doing in practice all day. The third quarterback sometimes will have like 10 throws in a practice, just 10 throws. So I'm just thinking most of the offseason, he throws the ball 10 times to Colton Dowell, Mason Kinsey.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that him actually having an offseason as this number one guy, getting first team reps, throwing it to D-Hop and whoever else.
You know what the problem is? I've heard people say this. The hardest thing to coach a quarterback is accuracy. If they don't have it, it's hard to coach it into them, and that's what Will Levis needs. And I'm tired of inaccurate quarterbacks, but that's what we have. We have a quarterback who struggles to complete 60% of his completions. And in today's NFL, most people are like higher 60s. We're talking about 67, 68 is almost getting the average now. And he's struggling to complete 50. And I'm like, we're going to lose a lot of games like this, guys. And I just don't want to do we really want to go to next season? Like, yep, we are signing that we're not going to be a good team next year. So I really even talked myself into not being a Will Levis guy, but I'm just tired of this inaccuracy of his because it kills drives. And he just too many times misses on big downs. But hey, it's good when we have opposite opinions, which we do a lot. But it's shaping like Will Levis guy, and I'm not a Will
Levis guy at all.
So where are you with him?
I think he's basically the same thing as Marcus Mariota as Ryan Tannehill towards the end of his career. Just a quarterback. You can win with them.
Those? Now, one thing I'll give Will Levis, no homo, but the haircut, the arms. I mean, he's a poster child of
That's after he jumped with spin around like a helicopter. He all stands up, flexing like that. I'm like, buff man.
When he did that, I'm like, whoa! I wanted to jump up there and play for him, but then after that, he just wouldn't complete any more passes. So
too many incompletions. Yeah, that's really that's my biggest issue with him. Just too many incompletions because he can just throw some beauties. He can throw some nice bombs.
He can. And that's what wins me over with just
like 17 to 20 yard out breaking routes, whether it's straight out or an angle. Well. He just throws those beautifully. Just love watching those. But like too many times he don't want to set his feet and he just does a little thing there and just skips it just way too often.
I think this was separates him from Tannehill and Mariota. Is that I think Will Levis' strong suit is outside the hashes and he's weaker in the middle. Ryan Tannehill and Mariota was stronger in the hashes, and they both was garbage on the outside. They both was.
Yeah, I guess when I was comparing him to them two, I didn't necessarily mean his style of play. I just mean his results.
Yes, yeah, I feel that.
So like we'll get 13 to 25 points a game, rarely over, sometimes less, but so.
The thing with Will Levis, I know he did the helicopter play, which I wouldn't recommend, but he did the helicopter play. But I feel he's not slow. When he picked up that one fumble, man, he can move it. So I'm shocked we don't run him, or maybe he just.
He's been dealing with an ankle injury. He's been dealing with an ankle injury almost since we got him. Because actually, if you would have seen some of the practice videos this week, there was a lot of videos about his practice tape this week. Like he was looked like he had trouble just walking. He was limping so bad.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Tannehill's like, dang, I missed that chance.
I'd say he's probably gonna give a little kick in the ankle.
What would that do for us? Like this season's shot. Imagine if next week, let's say
Tannehill has to come in. Tannehill comes in and just starts to lighten it up where we end up the season 7-10 at the end. And I'm like,
that would be actually infuriating. That would be just.
I could easily see that happening too, because Tannehill knows I'm playing for a starting job next year, so I don't care if I make us lose games for being a gunslinger, and he just dealing the stupid.
It goes back to Tannehill when he first started with us.
And that's literally what his situation was then too, because he's like, I'm a backup on a 1-year deal. I got traded here against my will, and now I got a chance to start. I'm just gonna throw it around like I give no craps. If I do great, then someone's gonna pay. Whether it's Tennessee or somebody else, gonna pay me a crap ton. If I do bad, then we'll just start from scratch in free agency, and we'll go from there. So he could do that. Of course, this is obviously just pure speculation, like or irrelevant even, because I'm sure Will Levis is fine. He's just gonna keep playing because again, he's been dealing with the ankle for like 3. I think he hurt it against the Jags is when he hurt it, and he's just sucks up Buttercup and plays. Yeah. Well, is there anything else that needs to be said? Because at this point,
Yeah,
we've talked about everything under the sun. Besides, Nick Folk's not a terrible punter.
No, he actually punted quite well. I'll give him that.
He did. You know, if he would have hit that stupid extra point, we would have won the game.
Yeah. Special teams sucked. They just jumped right in there to suck. But anyway,
yeah, Craig Ackerman's awful.
I think we covered it all. Next week. Yeah, I guess I would say that. Yeah. So next week is a Monday night. I work on nights, so I probably won't be there to watch the game and to recap the game. But Gable's got
we'll
covered,
we'll preview it Friday night / Saturday morning, and then I don't even think I'm gonna like do a reaction Monday night because I'll have to wake up early the next morning for work. So I'm not gonna do that. I'll probably watch the game Monday, go to sleep, go to work on Tuesday, and then probably Tuesday night I'll make it. Maybe.
Okay. Probably.
So that's probably the plan. So I guess we're going to go ahead and call it a day, call it a video, call it a whatever, call it a season. Better luck next year. We lost. Boo. I guess that's all we got. Peace out.